Hello, good morning everybody, and welcome to the AVCon main stage. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here so early. Hello, yes. Big thank you to JP Light and Sound for sponsoring AVCon and setting this whole stage up. Round of applause for them. Thank you.
Shout out JP.
Yeah. My name's Brandon, also known online as the Never Noose, and I'm joined by...
Hello, I'm Kai, also known as Carnage Cos or Ya Boy.
Nice. All right, the moment you guys are waiting for. With more than 200 voice acting credits to her name, she's brought to life some of the most unforgettable characters across gaming and anime. You might know her as Bloodhound from Apex Legend, among many, many other roles. She's traveled all the way from California to join us today here at AVCon, so please give a huge Australian welcome to Allegra Clark.
Woo!
Come on up, Allegra. There she is. Hello, hello. Got this whole couch to choose from.
I'm just gonna splay over here. How's sitting with the tentacles? Oh,
I already figured it out.
Sick. All right, so I can just take a nap for the next hour, right? Is
Yes,
that chill?
yeah, you sleep, we'll talk.
Ah,
Get
nice.
comfy, it's
Good night,
early.
guys.
Welcome to Australia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for
welcome
having
back,
me. Yes,
actually.
welcome back. This is my second time in Australia. I went to a con in Melbourne 2 years ago. And so when they asked, you want to come back to Australia? I was like, no, I would hate that. I hated it here. She said like a liar. No, it's great. I love Australia, even though it's cold right now.
Yeah, bit cold. Have you seen a kangaroo?
I did. Yes, I have.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes,
yeah.
I've
Thoughts?
seen kangaroos. What?
I said thoughts on kangaroos?
Thoughts on kangaroos? Here,
Yeah.
I'll just lower it right now. They're fuckers, aren't they?
They like to get you in a headlock, yeah.
My child, I would say, it's the Australian saltwater croc. They're the really big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Sea Life in Melbourne, and I was like, oh, that's such a flat fuck. It was beautiful and flat and incredible. Dangerous. Very dangerous.
So dangerous.
But that's all the wildlife
Australia.
here.
Yeah.
I actually was attacked by Australia. We went to a pho and banh mi place in Melbourne on Sunday, and I was minding my own business, waiting to use the toilet, and there was a nail sticking out of the wall, and I smacked against it. Let me see if I can roll the sleeve up. It's awful.
It's awful.
Yes, I can.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
And that's it having healed. It was an awful ring of purple around there. Somehow my sweater survived the assault, but I had a big scrape. The center here is a scrape where the skin came off. And then that whole area was one giant purple bruise. So yes, I have been attacked by your country.
Nice,
Are you
yes.
guys going to apologize to me for that?
Well, it's kind of a rite of passage, I think, to
Damn.
get a bit
All
injured
right.
here. Yeah.
All right, fine, I accept it. I accept it.
I want to obviously talk a little bit about your career.
Yes.
And in voice acting.
Yes.
I want to know the story of how you got your big break, because I understand it happened in an environment like AVCon.
It did, yeah. So I figured out at some point in college that I wanted to do voiceover specifically. So I moved back to New York, and I was taking voiceover classes and workshops. I already had a theater degree at that point. But I also started getting into cosplay. And I was a big Dragon Age fan at the time. So I went to San Diego Comic-Con dressed as Isabella from Dragon Age 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm there, and that was the first year that BioWare did their BioWare base, because I think they were gearing up, this was 2011, then they were gearing up for Mass Effect 3 coming out. And some DLC for Dragon Age 2 had come out. So they had a bunch of the developers there and the game that you can demo and yada yada. And David Gator was there.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so that was my first time meeting Dave. And, we're just chatting. We're talking about like the games and everything. And God bless my friend Melissa. She goes, and Allegra's a voice actor. And for those of you who are not in the industry, having someone else say to someone in a position of power, she's an actor, looks so much better than going, and by the way, I'm an actor. Because when you do that, they're like, oh, all right. But when someone else does that, they're like, oh, okay. So it's like, I was like, oh my God, thank you. So the exact conversation went, oh, can you do accents? I went, yeah, I can do RP, I can do Cockney. I also speak fluent French and Italian. And he said, oh, Canadian French or France French? I was like, oh, France French. And he said, good, we're going to be needing more of that in the next game. Can I get your email?
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
And yeah, and then about 9 to 10 months later, I got the audition. Didn't book Josephine immediately because I think they were struggling with the intensity of the Italian accent. I think they were like trying to find like a good line where like the accent was present, but it wasn't too forward. And so Dave actually gave me that note. The accent wasn't quite what we wanted when I saw him again at San Diego Comic-Con 2012. But then months later, they cast me as a different character. I went in, I recorded, and apparently a couple minutes into the session, Caroline Livingstone, who at the time was directing BioWare's games, was like, yeah, we got to give her a bigger part than this. So they had me reread for Josephine, and I took the note, and I took the adjust, and then I booked it, and I cried a lot. There was a lot of crying.
I bet. Wow. Yeah, I love that story. It's so inspiring. Like, shoot your shot, but also have people around you who are willing to champion you.
What I always say to people is, like, don't do the path that I did because it worked out so serendipitously for me. The people who, like, sadly, it's a little cringe to like aggressively shoot your shot. But I think that's because, when you're in the industry, you're like talking to people and you're meeting people, you don't always want to hear like, and I want to do your line of work, It can be a little overwhelming, especially because regardless of skill level, everyone's going to say it. And so like, how do you vet, who's actually prepared to work on a professional level versus people who are beginning and aspiring earlier in their journey? Doesn't mean that they won't get there, but they aren't quite there yet. So yeah, it just really worked out in my favor under the circumstances. Actually, the way that I found out that I had booked it, the first character that I booked was Dave fucking DMing me on Twitter and being like, hey, really excited for you to come in. Do you know what day yet? And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, Caroline hasn't emailed you yet? And I went, no. And then 15 minutes later, I had an email from Caroline.
I bet you thought you were probably getting scammed or something at that moment, right?
I was like,
is this real?
I was like, we're joking, we're kidding right now, right? Yeah. Especially because at that point, I had like fully decided that I wasn't going to make it in the industry, and I was getting ready to move to Seattle to work in social media marketing. And it was the Tuesday after I had left my job in New York. I'm not even kidding. It was like my first Tuesday.
Insane.
Everything happens for a reason.
Serendipitous, yeah.
Serendipitous.
So right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And now look at you.
And now look at me. Now I'm in Australia. Actually, it was really cute. My mom posted a picture on Facebook of me in my performance motion capture suit that I'd worn for when I did some work on Spider-Man 2. And she was just like, Allegra's going to Australia because people really like her work and I'm so proud of her and everything. I was like, Mom. Also, do you guys know Laura Geller, like the cosmetic person, Laura Geller? Like the brand? I don't know if she's out here.
Make some noise if you know Laura Geller. There you go.
Do you actually know Laura Geller or are you just wooing? You know the name? Okay, well, my mom works in the beauty industry, so she knows Laura Geller. And so Laura Geller just comments like, oh, she's so cool. And I'm just like, what do you mean Laura Geller? Like, what's going on? It was kind of a funny moment, but it's, yeah.
Well, clearly, like, obviously, much like her, a lot of people like your work. And we've got I can see the crowd has a lot of gacha cosplayers.
Hello.
Out of all the voices that you've done for so many different gacha games, do you have a secret favorite? Are you secretly like a gacha gamer?
Oh my God. Well, am I a secret gacha gamer? I am a not so secret gacha gamer in that I have a one gacha limit because I know me, and me is a whale. Me is a whale, so I wail on Infinity Nikki. That is my poison. I just want to buy the pretty dresses, but like I'm also like totally free to play, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. I love how I still make that joke even though I was invited to the VIP program because I've spent enough money on the game.
Wow.
I'm in the VIP program. I truly cannot claim to be free to play anymore. But yeah, that's my limit. I did play Star Rail for a little while, and I did have a lot of fun with it. But then life was happening, and I was just like, I couldn't really make myself play it anymore because it was like during the strike, and everything was weird, and I was like, I don't have the enthusiasm right now, and so and then Camden got me into Infinity Nikki. It's his fault. I hate him for this. I've spent so much more money on that game than him now. I'm like, he did this to me. Camden did this to me.
You have so many pretty dresses.
What?
But you have so many pretty dresses.
I do have so many pretty dresses. It's pretty great, actually. And because the problem is I keep going for Final Evolution on it, too. So I'm just like, I'm not just pulling. I'm doing the equivalent of an E6 or a C6 on it, on like nearly every single dress that comes out. I'm like,
What if I got all the way through? It took me 300 pulls, haha.
which actually, when I think about it, 300 pulls to fully complete something is so, 400 is max that you would need to fully evolve a dress. That's so much better than any of the other games. Because when I did E6 Acheron, and we don't want to talk about my luck when I did that. It was, I went to pity every single time. And I lost almost every 50-50. That was not fun. So just know that I'm suffering in the trenches with you guys.
I want to talk a little bit about Bloodhound.
Hell yeah.
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 How did you develop the character's voice? Tell us.
It's so funny because like Bloodhound is like constantly evolving too, not just as a character, but also like how they sit within me and everything. I first started recording on Apex in 2018, so it has been officially 8 years of me playing Bloodhound, which is so wild to think about. I'm totally gonna age myself right now. I turn 38 next week, which means that in 2 years, when I turn 40, it will be 10 years of Bloodhound, which means that will be a character that I will have been playing for a decade of my life. Assuming the game is still running, which, knock on every surface possible.
I think it will.
I think it will be as well, but you never know. But a decade, a quarter of my life as Bloodhound would be insane.
That's the longest character you've voiced?
I would say consistently, because obviously Josephine came first. I started recording her in end of 2012. And so that would be the oldest character chronologically. But as far as characters that I continue to voice, because I go in on Apex like every 3 to 4 months, honestly. I actually have a session, that's my first session when I get back to LA next week. Just for what will be probably season 31 content because I recorded season 30 last time, so it's gonna be recording season 31. It started just with the note that they wanted an authentic Norwegian or like an authentic Icelandic or Old Norse accent. And my first reaction to that was, I'm not gonna do it then. I almost passed on that audition. I sincerely, there's like a world in which I was lazy and am not Bloodhound. Because my first reaction was, I can't do that. And then I'm not even gonna lie, I saw the rate on the game. I was like, oh, double scale? Oh, I'll try anything for double scale, let's go. So I listened to a Norwegian woman's accent tag on repeat for about 2 hours, just trying to hear where everything was going to be placed. I went in, I recorded the audition, and I said, if I book it, I will pay for a dialect coach to really drill the accent with me. And then I got a call back, and I was like, close enough, let's go. So I did that. I went in. Slating is saying your name before you do the audition. I have gotten to a point in my career that I hate slating because when they start playing my audition back to me, the worst thing is hearing myself go, Allegra Clark, before you hear the lines. For some reason, it drives me crazy. I'm like, oh no, Allegra, shut up. Just do the performance. God, every time. So, but for that audition, I deliberately didn't slate because I was like, you know, they want authentic Norwegian, and I'm like, I'm Allegra Clark. I'm an Italian American from New York City doing my authentic Icelandic accent. Let's go. So I didn't slate. I thought I was being very tricky about it. They were like, yeah, we can tell you weren't authentic, but we like what you're doing with the character. So I would say the kind of the tenets of them is that there's it's simple. They're very straightforward, which is ironic for a character who is as mysterious as they are. Like, you know, obviously there's a lot of mystery. It's like, oh, what do they look like? What do they sound like under the, without the gas mask? Who are they? Yada, yada, all this stuff. And what's their real name? It's Bloodhound. And like, they are a surprisingly straightforward character in the sense that they are always telling you exactly what they believe. And their beliefs just don't fall into, you know, language or an understanding that most people have. But they're just like, All Father, give me sight. You know, the All Father blesses us. And it's like, yeah, you don't necessarily know what the All Father is, but I do. And I'm just telling you. Ashley Reed, who's one of the writers, says that Bloodhound is a little bit like that quiet kid that, like, if you start like talking to them about their hyperfixation, they will like monologue at you. And I do think that is very true. But yeah, it was just kind of, and then when I booked the role, they were like, by the way, we think Bloodhound is non-binary. This is what we're leaning towards. And I went, great. Does that change anything about the performance that I gave in the callback? And they went, nope. And I went, cool, great, let's go then. And that's always the thing. And just to get ahead of the question in case everyone has it, I have no idea what Bloodhound's assigned sex at birth is. And I don't care to know because I don't think that's important. I think the only person that it is important for is potentially another trans or non-binary individual who sees their own journey reflected in Bloodhounds and might want to headcanon that for themselves. But for me, as the actor, it changes nothing. Bloodhound is non-binary, that is who they are, and that's it.
Wonderful, that's it.
Well, also because it's a great thing to say to anyone who's obviously being a bigot and is like, but what are they really? And I'm like, I couldn't even tell you if you wanted to know. Like, what's in their pants? I'm like, none of your business. The only person who cares about that is Fuse. But yeah, it's like, people are so weird about that. And I'm just like, even if I wanted to tell you what their genitalia was, even if that was any of your damn business, I couldn't. And being able to hold that as well is like, there's no answer. There's no answer to your question. You will never be satisfied because the answer is always they are non-binary. And I love that. They get so mad when they hear that.
I personally believe that Bloodhound is just a bunch of crows in a suit.
That was another, though sadly they did take off their mask to kiss Fuse. So unless you're imagining like one bird going like, caw, caw, like they're like kissing Walter's mouth. Meet Walter.
I know 31 seasons of Apex, you said.
Season 30 is going to drop in August, I believe.
Yeah. I'm really into Easter eggs in video games, and I'm curious from, like, I don't know if you can say this, but if, you've recorded something that no one's uncovered, or, something you think
no one's uncovered.
They could trigger.
Well, part of the problem is, like, I recorded something really cute at one point. It was like a cute little Easter egg, but I don't know if if that event has dropped in any capacity. Because people will honestly just like kind of data mine the lines out too. So I don't know if there's anything that is hidden in the game at this stage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. It is no, now this is public. It's no secret. Bloodhound is getting a rework for season 30. So I will say we recorded a couple different iterations of ability lines in case while they were still kind of from a gameplay standpoint choosing what they were going to go for. I don't know if they probably wouldn't hide those lines anywhere in there for the version that they didn't take. But I would say that's probably the closest to it. But even then, it's like, it's just cut content entirely.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But like away from Bloodhound, you
Yes.
also do a lot of like romance options in
Yes.
a lot of your games.
Yes.
If you had to romance one of the characters that you voiced, who would it be? There is a correct answer.
There's a correct answer? Well, I feel like I know your correct answer. And the thing is, I think it's also mine. It's Josie.
Woo.
Josie from Dragon Age, Josephine.
The best romance.
What's great about her is that like she's got her life together. Like even when she doesn't, she still does. Like stuff's happening. You know, the House of Repose is being awful, but she's still like she knows how to solve the problem. She's just like my way is just gonna take a lot of time compared to Leliana's let's just murder them way. Which, by the way, Leliana's "let's just murder them" way is pretty funny. I like to think that if there's always like, there is a version in the epilogue where it's like you do it her way, you do it Leliana's way, and then you don't do it at all is another option, I think, for an ending. But I like to think that if the Inquisitor is just like, man, I forgot about this quest line, Leliana would just do her own thing. She'd be like, no, I'm not gonna let this hang. No. I'm gonna save my best friend. Come on, guys. But yeah, she's just considerate and she's kind and she's sweet and she's lovely and thoroughly unproblematic and just a really supportive partner. And in my advanced age, I am learning that the supportive partner thing is actually really peak. Like that's great. I don't have time for drama. I mean, like, you could sit here, I don't think I voice anyone a romance option who's really, like, in their toxic era. But I wouldn't have the patience for that as a person. I don't even have patience for that as a player. I'm just like, people will be like, yeah, I love him because he's problematic. I can fix him. I'm like, no. Make him go to therapy and then he can talk to me. Also, this is pretending, even though I fully have a boyfriend and I identify as like queer, I'm attracted to all genders, this is also pretending that there's a world in which I look at a male love interest, with the exception of Emmerich Volkaren. Okay, I was about to say, in case I ever romanced men, because I do mostly romance women, but Emmerich Volkaren from Dragon Age Veilguard, he's Pookie. And he's also wonderful, and he has his life together. Very quick sidebar about that. I'm sitting there. I fully went into Veilguard being like, I'm going to kiss Nev because she's pretty and wonderful. And then I saved Treviso, so I was like, okay, Nev, you know what? Baby girl, I'm going to create a special playthrough just for you. So put you on the sidebar. Who am I going to kiss? Is it going to be, I'm kind of digging Davrin, but I'm also kind of digging Emmerich. What's going on? Why do I dig Emmerich so much? And I'm finally like, I'm sitting there playing it, and I just out loud, I go, God, why do I love this tall, well-spoken nerd? And then my tall, well-spoken nerd of a boyfriend swivels around in his chair and goes, yes. And I went, all right, fair enough. Which heart option do you like, babe? Like, you pick it. Since apparently I have a type now, tall, well-spoken nerds.
But we are running out of time for our session here.
Yes.
Since we have so many Zenless cosplayers in the crowd, I see like a Silly over there. We've got a ton over here.
Yeah.
Would you like to say like your goodbye message as Fairy or Cecilia for the crowd?
Ooh. I mean, are any of my angels here? I do not see any of my angels.
No,
it's
no
okay.
angels.
I do love my angels. But I suppose Fairy will have to say something. To all of the proxies here, thank you so much for your support of Master, who I love ever so much. And I suppose also second assistant. They are there too. I will never not bully second assistant. That is my thing. Every time I say second assistant now in game, I've started like saying it smaller and smaller just to be an asshole. So it's like, it started with second assistant, and now I go, second assistant. I'm just like, bury second assistant as much as possible. Eventually they'll stop me, but for now, I'm just making it tiny text.
I love that. I love that so much.
You voice a character in Sailor Moon.
Yes.
And you're a huge Sailor Moon fan.
Yes.
I have a present for you.
What? What do you mean a present for
You
me?
might enjoy a VHS copy
No!
of Sailor Moon.
Oh my God! I don't think I ever had the VHS tapes either. Okay, for all the children in the room, this is a VHS tape. This is what we elder folks had to watch our stuff on. This is 3 episodes too, isn't it? Because there was only ever 3. Wait, no. 6 episodes.
There you go.
Whoa, okay. 6 episodes on a VHS tape. Let's go. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, this is so early too. Okay, so funny story. I watched Sailor Moon on Cartoon Network when I was a kid. And it was back when like Toonami was still like the afternoon slot. And at the time I was a really big Voltron fan. So I was like rushing home one day because I was like, oh my God, the next Voltron episode is coming out. I'm gonna miss it. And I was running 15 minutes late. Literally, I left my best friend at the time's house. Like we were having a sleepover and I was like, anyway, bye. I have to go watch Voltron, like fully leaving. And I get back home. I'm like, oh no, I missed part of the episode. It was maybe like 4:10 or something like that. And I turn it on, and it's the exact moment when Usagi is taking the Band-Aids off of Luna's face. And I was like, that's not Voltron. What is this show? And just fell completely in love. Voltron fell completely by the wayside after that. Sailor Moon became like my obsession. So eventually booking Princess Kakyu in the redubs, which was actually, in the case of Cosmos, the first ever dub of those characters, was like such a dream come true. Because, I mean, they started redubbing it before I was really fully in the industry. And now it's like, oh my God, like I got to be a part of it still. I snuck in at the very end and it's me. So yeah, thank you for this. Oh my God.
You are welcome. I did want to ask, so when you do book roles where you're dubbing an original show, what is the preparation like for you? Do you binge the show? Do you work heavily with the original creators?
Sometimes I go, if it's publicly available, because sometimes now, like, the show isn't available yet because we're simul-dubbing, like, so the episodes come out at the same time. And if it's an original piece of work, then there's no source material, not even like a manga for me to look at. I will sometimes try to watch it a little bit. I mean, sometimes I also find out like 2 days before a session that I'm going in and I'm recording something and I'm like, okay, I just go in, I work on it. So usually it's like after I start recording, I start going like, what's the deal with this? And I start looking it up. I have to thank Fandom Wikia for being an excellent source of information. But yeah, I'd say with JJK in particular, like I did a little bit of research ahead of time. And then I just started really liking it, especially as the more and more I recorded, I was like, wait, this show is really sick. And that's when I went back and I read the manga and read it religiously up until it came out, and up until it ended. So yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for coming over to Adelaide for this.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Everybody give it up for Allegra Clark.
Hi.